For decades one name echoed across the ancient world with fear and admiration. Cyrus the Great. He had conquered kingdoms, defeated mighty armies, and built the largest empire the world had ever known. Every ruler who stood against him eventually fell. Cities opened their gates before his armies even arrived. To many, Cyrus seemed unstoppable, but beyond the eastern frontier lived a queen who feared neither his reputation nor his power. She ruled a nation of fierce horse warriors who valued freedom above life itself. Her name was Tomyris, and she was about to become the greatest challenge Cyrus would ever face. Tomyris ruled the Massagetae, a proud nomadic people who roamed the endless grasslands of Central Asia. Their lives revolved around horses, hunting and war. They were raised to fight from childhood, and every warrior defended the tribe with unmatched courage. Tomyris was no ordinary queen. She did not hide behind palace walls or leave battles to her generals. She trained with her soldiers, rode beside them, and shared every hardship. Her people respected her not because she wore a crown, but because she earned their loyalty through courage and wisdom. Under her leadership, the Massagetae remained free, while many other nations surrendered to Persia. Cyrus understood that defeating the Massagetae would not be easy. Instead of attacking immediately, he chose diplomacy, or at least something that looked like diplomacy. He sent Tomyris a proposal of marriage, claiming he wished to unite their kingdoms peacefully. To outsiders, it seemed like a generous offer, but Tomyris immediately recognized the truth. Cyrus did not seek love, he sought control. Marriage was simply another weapon in his campaign of conquest. Without hesitation, she rejected his proposal and warned him to leave her people in peace. If he crossed her borders, she promised, the consequences would be his alone. Humiliated by her refusal, Cyrus prepared for war. Yet instead of relying only on strength, he planned a trap. Persian soldiers abandoned a richly supplied camp filled with roasted meat and large barrels of wine before retreating. When the Massagetae captured the camp, they believed victory had already arrived. They celebrated with food and drink, unaware that the retreat had been carefully staged. As the warriors became intoxicated, Persian troops returned under the cover of darkness. The surprise attack was devastating. Hundreds were killed before they could even reach their weapons, and many others were captured alive. Among the prisoners was Spargapises, the beloved son of Queen Tomyris. Captured through deception rather than honorable battle, he was taken before Cyrus in chains. Ancient historians wrote that after realizing what had happened, he could not bear the shame of his defeat. He took his own life. When the terrible news reached Tomyris, silence filled her camp. She had lost not only her son but also the future of her family. Grief quickly turned into burning determination. Looking toward the Persian army, the queen made a promise that would echo through history. She swore that Cyrus would pay for every drop of innocent blood he had spilled. The death of Spargapises changed everything. Standing before thousands of Massagetae warriors, Queen Tomyris raised her sword toward the sky. Her voice echoed across the open plains as she made a promise that would be remembered for centuries. She declared that Cyrus had won through deception, not honor, and that his betrayal would not go unpunished. This was no longer a battle for land or power, it was a fight for justice, for family, and for every warrior who had fallen because of Persian treachery. Inspired by their queen's courage, the Massagetae prepared for a final confrontation that would decide the fate of both kingdoms. As the sun rose over the endless grasslands, two powerful armies stood face to face. Persian soldiers marched forward with discipline and confidence, believing another victory was within their reach. Across the battlefield the Massagetae waited silently beside their fearless queen. Then with a single command thousands of warriors charged, arrows darkened the sky, spears crashed against shields, Horses thundered across the plains as both sides fought with unmatched determination. The battle lasted for hours, and neither army showed mercy. But this time Persia was not facing frightened kingdoms. They were facing warriors fighting for revenge, freedom, and the memory of a fallen prince. Slowly, the balance of the battle began to change. The determination of the Massagetae proved stronger than the discipline of the Persian army. One by one, Persian lines collapsed under relentless attacks. At the center of the battlefield stood Cyrus himself, still refusing to retreat. But even the greatest conqueror could not escape fate forever. According to the ancient historian Herodotus, Cyrus the Great was killed during the battle. His death shocked the ancient world. The ruler who had conquered countless kingdoms had finally met an enemy he could not defeat. Against all expectations, Queen Tomyris had accomplished what no emperor had imagined possible. Ancient writers tell one final story that transformed Tomyris into a legend. After the battle, Cyrus's body was found among the fallen. Tomyris ordered his head to be placed inside a container filled with blood. Looking upon the defeated conqueror, she is said to have spoken words that echoed through history. You thirsted for blood all your life, now drink your fill. Whether every detail happened exactly this way remains uncertain, and historians continue to debate the account. Yet the story survived because it symbolized something greater than revenge. It represented justice against betrayal and the courage of a queen who refused to surrender to tyranny. More than 2,000 years have passed since the battle between Tomyris and Cyrus the Great. Empires have risen and fallen, but the name of Tomyris continues to inspire people across the world. She proved that true leadership is measured not by wealth or the size of an army, but by courage, wisdom, and the willingness to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Her story reminds us that even the mightiest empire can be challenged when people refuse to surrender their freedom. History often celebrates the conquerors, but sometimes its greatest heroes are those who stand against impossible odds. Queen Tomyris was one of those heroes. Her courage became her legacy, and her legacy became immortal. If you enjoyed uncovering this forgotten chapter of history, subscribe to Forgotten Echoes, where the voices of the past are brought back to life, one extraordinary story at a time.